Back in the shop again. It's January 19, and it's actually close to 10 o'clock at night and about 30 degrees. It's a bit chilly. A couple days ago I finished a violin out of Birdseye Maple and Spruce, and I set it all up, strung it up, played it, sounded nice, very happy. So now I've taken it apart. I have the fingerboard off and everything else off, except the sound post is still in there. And got everything prepped the way I wanted it. One coat of varnish is on here, just one coat to seal it. And this is looking good. I'm happy. So something I have wrestled with for the past year is finishing my violin. No, I don't really want an orange violin. I don't know that I have the skill to antique it. I like the antique look, but I'm not going to ding this up. And I have searched high and low. I have books on violin making. I have looked at websites. There's nothing that I can find that really tells you how to finish a violin. So I've come up with a plan and done some experiments, and I'm going to do this, and maybe I'll have the answer. Good morning. It's January 20, and it's going to be a balmy 41 degrees today. Yesterday I varnished this and turned it lemon yellow. What do you think? That's step one. I mixed up about 2 tablespoons of varnish and a little, I stole my wife's Pampered Chef thing here. And a little varnish in there with some yellow, and then applied it. Today I'm using the Venetian red. Use less red because it's so powerful. I am applying it with a brush, and then a section at a time as it starts to get tacky. Put on a rubber glove, and I'm going to pat all over and even out the brush strokes. And you can even take your finger and do some highlights. I'm going to try that out and see what happens. And hopefully it's good. Call this a total violin fail. The yellow looked good. Very happy with it. The color is spot on. Could have made it darker or whatever, but my technique was awful. I brushed on the varnish that was tinted, and then I patted it. On my sample pieces, it came out great. It's blotchy. Looks, I don't know what it looks like. It's terrible. And to cap it off, I can't see my wood. I want to see the knots. I want to see the ripples in the grain. So, good old super strip. My wife asked me if it was safe. I'm like, well, it doesn't smell bad. It only causes second-degree burns. So, it's safe. So that's what I'm doing next. Oh, here we are, I don't know, 10 minutes later. I just put the super stripper right here in this little mug I stole out of the kitchen, and put it on and scrape, and I also used a brush, and then you rinse it with water. So now comes the tricky part, doing the sides. The scroll around the F-holes is tough. I have done this before, sadly. Well, I've got the F-holes cleaned up, and I'm using this brush to agitate the stripper, and this is already starting to bubble up, and I'll work on that. So, a little farther along. Sadly, I can't do any of the work and hold the camera at the same time, so I just show you step by step. Little brush, little container for the stuff. Always have a bucket of rinse water because it is an acid, and always wear safety glasses. They're on my head. Man, this stuff burns. Well, we've gone back in time. This was 3 coats of varnish were on here. Yellow, clear yellow and orange, and we are back to square one. How to finish a fiddle. I got no idea. Well, I've got a new angle on finishing the fiddle. I decided to spray it using a touch-up gun. Harbor Freight Tools little touch-up gun. I've had it for years and it works well. So I took 3 tablespoons of spar varnish, a little of that yellow, bright yellow artist paint, and maybe the amount of a size of a small pea. Mixed it up and I sprayed it. I don't know if you can see, but it's got a nice yellow tint. The lighting in here is a little odd, I guess, but a nice yellow tint. And then I took, same thing, that was yesterday, quadruple aught steel wool to smooth it out, 3 tablespoons about of spar varnish, and then a little bit of that red. And I've got it mixed up in the gun. The temperature out here is only 31 degrees. It's sleeting and snowing out. I don't know how I'll get from here to the house. But I thought I'd show you. I'm going to give it a shot. Just go for it, you know. I hate the thought of having to do this again, honestly. But, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So, I use this gun on touching up some paint jobs I've done, or doing detail work when I've painted like a motorcycle. And all I want to do is get a light coat on here. I don't want to have the grain of the wood hidden again, so it's less dye in the varnish than last time. So take a couple more coats. Too bad. Can you see the difference already? Can you see that? Alright. I'm going to stop, recharge my compressor. I had it off for the video. And then, whoops, we'll get the balance of this done. And we'll see what the results are like. Okay, I finished shooting that coat. All kinds of weird things happened. A big gust of wind blew in and kicked up sawdust and dust. It's all stuck in the finish. But that's okay. It'll sand out. So this is a coat of that red I used. And it's a good way to examine if I carved a decent arch on the fiddle. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Gonna let it dry probably till tomorrow. Then it's gonna get sanded, and we'll even up some of this, and hopefully it'll be more like the final finish, and hopefully I'll be happy with it. This might be where I scream, maybe. Just as I finished putting the varnish on yesterday, I had taken a video. I was going to take it back in the house because it's chilly out here. Big gust of wind and snow and ice, accompanied by a fair amount of sawdust off my floor, blew the door open, blew in, and covered my fiddle. And this is what I'm left with. Strange marks and dirt. Back's not quite as bad because it was facing the door. I don't know. I'm going to wet sand it, see how she looks. Do something with the varnish, and call it the Ugly Duckling. And that's all she wrote. No more. I'm wet sanding with 320 grit wet sandpaper. Take down all the imperfections from when the wind blew in the shop. And as a beneficial side effect, it's kind of antiquing the violin, and I think it's going to come out nice. My wife likes it, so that's important. Well, here we are, boys and girls. I think I'm calling it quits. This is what she looks like after wet sanding and a little distressing of the edges. And then one more light coat with the red. So that looks a little antique. Maybe we turned a negative into a positive. My wife likes it. The color's not bad. Still on the hunt for the perfect shade. The one thing spraying does is it gives you this, it's a sheen, and you're kind of missing the texture you get from the brush. Some people will like it. It's okay. I think I like the brush better. But I'm calling it good, and I'm going to string her up and get her back together. But overall, pretty happy. Well, here we go. I'm all done. Or I quit. One of the two. She's orange. Nice scroll. Happy with it. Happy with my neck and the shape and the size. It's pretty darn close to perfect. Did a half a nickel button. Nice bird's eye. You can see the graft I put in there. And nice bird's eye sides, and looks pretty in the sun. Here's the top. This is a spruce on a fallen tree the wind took down a year ago. We distressed the sides, so the edges a little bit. Looks beat up. My wife says beat up violins look welcoming and playable. So that's what we got. The Ugly Duckling. I'm happy with it. It's orange. So that's good. And I'm happy with the sound. Give it a shot here. Try not to screw it up too bad. There it is. I hope you like it. I sure do.